Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, the team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames, they gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Hey. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to YSN Live. DJ Yoakley, Anthony Ronald Hartwig with you. Lots of notoriety on that side of the screen. But I'll tell you what you don't have, pal. I'm not a sponsor yet, so I don't really have it either. But I'll tell you what. Guess what's back?
Yeah.
Little A-bomb energy. Whoa. That's back too. The bubonic plague. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Thursday edition, which means it is technically our Friday on this show. But we will treat it as a Thursday, and we will get you excited for Friday. There's no doubt. In my mind, it is an exciting Thursday on this show because we are talking everything. Because there is no zone coverage tonight, we can kind of lay it all out on the line here this afternoon. Anthony Hartwig, tell me that you haven't been waiting all day for Friday night.
Waiting all day, just like Carrie Underwood, right? Waiting all day for Friday night. It's been like waiting all week for Friday night because we've known these matchups.
On Sunday. She's still got a couple of days. This is for the Valley. Oh man, I just dropped.
Yeah, we've known these matchups for a while. We've obviously talked about them before today. We're gonna dive deep in them today, but we're stoked. There's gonna be a lot of fun football tomorrow night for sure.
Let's go through the comments before anything else, so we can try to play catch up because I know we're gonna be having it.
It's Derp's in the comments.
Oh my! Hey, we might have a special guest. Hang tight. It's Derp in the comments. What's he got? While I send a.
So Derp's he's excited for playoffs. He says, "Good afternoon, DJ. Excited for playoffs." But then he wants to know if we're doing picks.
No, we're not doing picks.
No picks.
I mean, we're going to talk about these games, and we got video. We got video, which
We're stepping up, guys. We're getting better.
We told you we'd get better. Nobody expected this on a Thursday. They figured we would go out like a lamb going into week 11. No. We're bringing in some new stuff. No. All right, we don't have a special guest. They were asking about if there was a Minnow Ridge show tonight. There's not. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about these games. Anthony, where do you want to start? You want to start D7?
Let's go D7.
Okay. So, being that it's D7, there's one game that's a local matchup that we have to talk about, and we will talk about first. That being said, it's East Palestine and Western Reserve. And I know there's a lot of people that are really excited for this game. And before we get to the game, we saw this last night on I saw it. Let's just put it out there. Hey, congratulations, Clark Rutledge. This is unbelievable. And you can't write a better story for this young man. Only a sophomore, class of 2028. Right? Yeah, 28. It's all blur. It's all a blur. You talk about this guy. Look at this picture right now. The little guy in the picture. This was in 2018, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Parker Sherry.
There's Parker Sherry right there. Parker Sherry, the only quarterback in history of East Palestine to do 1,700 yards in a season. The only one going into this year. And there was, I mean, East Palestine's we're a blue-collar town, right? We run the football. And Parker certainly did his fair share of that. We saw with Owen Yuriauchi, he runs the football very well.
Oh, yes.
To the tune of over 2,000 yards last year. And there was a lot of, what are we going to do? And out comes this sophomore sensation, this standout, who has been training for this his whole life because his hero was Parker Sherry. His role model, Parker Sherry. The guy, I mean, literally the little boy that I remember would have a Parker Sherry jersey made up for him, and he would have the towel in the back just like Parker, and he'd be roaming the sidelines. And it's a situation where you look at this and you go, how cool is sports that we have stories like this, that this young man, Clark Rutledge, in his first full year as a starter under center, is only the second quarterback in East Palestine history to throw for 1,700 yards. And the first one was Parker Sherry, his mentor. Still to this day, they break down film together. What a story. What an awesome story. What a great, hey, I made the graphic, so I'll take credit for it. This is one that you hoped would happen, right? A scenario that, like a Disney story, in effect, that this young man learned from, and Parker Sherry, not only one of the best quarterbacks and football players to ever grace East Palestine, but also one of the best young men, and did things the right way. And he's passing it on, and to which much is given, much is expected, right? And I'm sure Mr. Rutledge, and he deserves that title now, will pass the baton on to the next generation, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. He's going to pass that baton on, and there's going to be another one. And that's the hopes, right? When you have great athletes and generational athletes and students and just men and women, for that matter, you hope that they pass it on, that someone catches their eye and they decide, hey, I want to be like that person. There's plenty of heroes, and we're going to hear all about it because I sent you that text last night. We're steering towards that,
right?
The hero aspect of the sports here locally. And I'm telling you what, man, this means a lot to that young man. It means a lot to this community in East Palestine. And before we even get started on, this game that's taking place, let's clap it up for 10-game season and this young man who's, again, just a sophomore. It's crazy to think the sky is the limit for this young man. And I know that, Parker had a lot of yards over his career. He eclipsed 1,000 yards in all 4 years passing. And I think he got 2,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken, one of those years too. So crazy stuff. And what a great way to kick off our show, I thought. And I think this isn't because I'm from East Palestine. I think every community has stories like this. And from our standpoint, it's our job. We should get more of this. So if you've got a story like this, please let us know. We love these. And especially if you got pictures like this that are encapsulated in time, and we can promote local heroes. That's what we do.
Heroic sense of belonging, buddy.
You've been holding that in. Heroic sense of belonging. All right. So without further ado, let's get to, because you and I are going to chat about these games. See, this is the bad part, is I can't see. Oh, there. Okay, so let's talk about Western Reserve and East Palestine. When you talk about these ones, oh yeah, this is sick. You're talking about a team in East Palestine who they didn't know what they were going to expect coming into the game, into this year, right? They didn't know. They lost a 2,000-yard rusher a record breaker. Everything that their entire front line, offense and defense, I believe. And then you wonder what is going to be left for East Palestine. Then you got Coach Michael Dempster, his coaching staff. They go back to the basis and they basically take what they had in the last 3 or so years and they throw it by the wayside and they go, listen, we have to reinvent ourselves. We've got a different quarterback. We've got a different line. We've got different parts and mechanics to this. And all of a sudden, you've got a team that goes into the playoffs for the first ever time, ladies and gentlemen, back-to-back years in the playoffs, which is incredible. And there's some teams that take that for granted, is going to the playoffs because they do it year after year after year. If you miss the playoffs 1 year, I promise you won't take it for granted anymore. And you've got a team in East Palestine that's never done that in back-to-back years. And like I said, we got Clark Rutledge. You've got Peyton Rutledge, who's led the defense, throughout this year as a junior captain. You've got the big boys up front who have stepped up huge. You've got Zach Chanel, who has been a huge, huge component of the success for East Palestine running downhill. But East Palestine, is as much as you want to talk about them in the positive sense, and as much as we have, and they're backing into the playoffs. You kind of hear the beep, beep, beep. I mean, a tough loss against Columbiana, a very tough loss against Valley Christian. And all of a sudden, if you're in that locker room, I'm sure they're not questioning themselves, but there's got to be something in the back of their mind that goes, what happened? Where did we go wrong here? As they head into a team in Western Reserve who is on the other track. They are marching into the playoffs. John Armini has his team deadlocked and ready to go. And they are listening to every command, even though everything that they have lost this year. They're starting all-world quarterback, Chris Pater, before the season even started. There's every excuse to say we shouldn't be here. And yet here they are on the road, going to be road warriors. But I promise you, Western Reserve is going to show up. And certainly a team that always shows out, especially we saw them against Waterloo, man. They are dangerous. They've been dangerous for a while. And this to me is one of the best games of the night. When you're talking about these two teams, this could come down to a one possession game at the end of the game. And who controls the ball better? Who has, and coach speak, who has less turnovers, who controls the ball more, time of possession. But Ant, tell me where I'm wrong.
No, I mean, it's coach speak for a reason. It's cliche for a reason because it works. There's a reason the coaches keep saying that time in and time out because that's what works. But from East Palestine's standpoint, you look at the Columbiana game first. Their offense and defense both kind of had tough days. They couldn't really get the ball going, and their defense gave up a ton of stuff. They fixed the offense against Valley Christian. They were kind of rolling, but the defense is still trying to kind of solve some issues, especially in the secondary. I mean, Dion Miller kind of carved them up when he dropped back the pass, and that's no tall feat trying to defend Dion Miller, of course. So East Palestine's got some stuff to figure out on defense, and we're watching the Western Reserve tape now. This offense for Western Reserve, if you let them, will run through you. So they got to figure some stuff out. They got to get in the line. They got to be able to control the line of scrimmage a little bit better. They got to be able to make quarterbacks a little bit more uncomfortable than they have in the last two games. And then they have to stop the run. That way, when they do make that quarterback uncomfortable, that's all they got. Like if you make a team one-dimensional and make them drop back passers, it gives you more opportunities to pass rush. So I think East Palestine's got to stop the run first, and then they have to use those obvious passing downs to their advantage and not let these big chunk plays get teams out of bad situations.
I think when you're looking at Western Reserve, there's four main people, and you're going to hear me talk about it on Channel 21 tonight on WFMJ during the Sportscast, is you're going to talk about Nate Alexander, who is their wide receiver, their defensive back, really their leader. As it goes, as he goes, so do they, because he's their vocal guy. I firmly believe that. He's got the respect of everybody in both huddles on both sidelines. Then you look at the young man that's been stepping up all year, seemingly for Western Reserve, and learning on the fly is Dom Crute, the quarterback who has stepped up for Pater. He's been doing an excellent job, and I think he's now commanding the huddle. He's commanding that offense where it's been a young. We've talked about this guy before. He's a sophomore, Timmy Sorensky, who's the running back who has played Wildcat. He's done kind of everything, and as he goes, so do the Blue Devils. There is no doubt about that, because this kid is uber talented, no matter where you put him. And Coach Armini's been doing a great job of getting creative with Timmy Sorensky. And I think you have to. When you have an athlete of that capability, you've got to be able to get him involved and get him the ball in space, or, get him his carries, even if they're just, I hate to say mundane, if they're just getting you 2 yards, 3 yards, you've got to be able to kind of show true to, we're still going to pound the football, because that's preserved football, right? We're going to pound it at you, and then we're going to get, as you can see, they get loose, and it's trouble for the other teams. And then on the other side, you got Dylan Crute, who has been outstanding, a defensive gem for John Armini. And we haven't even talked about the coaching matchups in this. Boy, you've got one of the best talkers, one of the best recruiters, one of the best motivators in Michael Dempster for East Palestine. He's going to have his kids motivated, ready to go. He's going to stand on business. There's no doubt about it. And it's a home game for East Palestine. Keep in mind. On the other side, you got a guy in John Armini who has been there. He's done that. He's got the experience in multiple places, multiple scenarios. And this is a Western Reserve team, again, that I'm sure he's going to have no problem firing up and telling them, hey, there's a lot of people saying you shouldn't be here. And one of those teams is the team across the sidelines, right? Across his field.
Look at this. I'm getting caught getting mesmerized by the highlights, but every time I see a Western Reserve kid run the ball in this game against they're playing Lowville, broken tackles and then just in open space, you can't catch up to them. Their speed. So if you let these guys get into open field, it's going to be a foot race, and you don't want to get in a foot race with the skills players of Western Reserve. It's just going to end up very bad for you. But back to Timmy Sorensky, I think another thing to his success, he's a son of coaches, right?
Yep.
Both of his parents have been coaches in the Western Reserve athletics room for a while. So being able to have that maturity and know kind of what a winning locker room looks like and have that coach's mentality is another reason why we're seeing success from a young age from Mr. Sorensky. I think it's a really big factor in being able to be mature as a sophomore and be able to handle the load that they've given him so far in this season.
I'm really interested because, there's some kids in programs that you look at and they bleed for the community. That and it's very transactional nowadays. And I hope parents and administrators understand what I'm talking about when I say it's very transactional. It's what have you done for me lately? And here's what I'm going to give to you kind of deal, right? It's very, that's how it is. Open enrollment and transfer, the NIL's coming, I think, allegedly. But you look at both sides. There's two kids and they're friends, which is super ironic, but you look, did that stop?
Yeah. I got it.
How do I start that back up? There we go. All right. Yeah. So you look at, I thought we were just frozen. I was like, oh, that's great. I'm here sitting here ready to make the point of the broadcast, and it freezes up on me and we're toast. You look at this and there's a kid on each side, and there's more than one, but these are the leaders, and it's going to be no surprise. It's the guys we talk about the most on this particular program. Clark Rutledge has had every opportunity and has had everybody walk up to him and say, man, you should be playing here or you should be playing there. And I will tell you with 100% certainty that he himself, Clark Rutledge at 14, 15 years old, whatever he is, has said, I want to play with my friends. I want to represent my community. I want to be part of East Palestine history. I want to be just like Parker Sherry. And you look at that, and people are going to sit there and be like, okay, here we go. Let's write the Disney. But it's true. There's kids out there. There's parents out there that still, believe it or not, have school pride. On the other side, to your point, Ant, Timmy Sorensky's that kid. There's a lot of pride at Western Reserve for that particular family, and there's a reason that Western Reserve has been successful, and it's because coaches and players have stopped and said, listen, this isn't happening under our watch. We can sit here and we can cry over spilled milk, and we can cry about what we don't have, or we can put on the field what we do have, make the best of it. And damn it, Western Reserve, I think better than any other team, has done that this year to the tune of, you're a playoff football team. You're a playoff football team. And again, there's teams right now turning in their pads, turning in their uniforms, wishing they were in the position that Western Reserve was in.
Right.
But Western Reserve, the difference between the Blue Devils and everybody else that's not playing right now is Western Reserve said, we're not going to sit here and feel bad for ourselves. We're not going to. There's a lot of truths in that sports is like life. And that in life, if you let it beat you down, it's going to let you stay there.
Right.
And you got to stand up. And guess what? Western Reserve answered the bell. East Palestine is on that slide. The question becomes, are they going to answer the bell? A home game, all the hype that it's been all year, this 6-game winning streak until you get to United. What team is going to show up? Is it the team that we saw all year long? Or was it the team that has not been able to put it together this last 3 weeks or so? That's the question. I think that's why this game is so exciting. It's so engaging, is because nobody knows which way this is going to go. Nobody. And that's what high school football playoffs is all about.
Yeah, and when you think about this matchup, and like I said, I think it's going to come down to which defense kind of shears up some of their holes that they've had in the past a little bit better. And we just watched, a clip of Valley Christian, have a little swing pass that ran down the sidelines for a touchdown. Both teams, I think that their defensive holes are in their second is in their second. Is this Lisbon, not Valley Christian?
Yeah, it's Lisbon.
But either way, we saw the East Palestine give up kind of a little swing pass to the perimeter and then foot race for a touchdown. Both these teams have a little bit of trouble in the secondary in the last couple of weeks. For East Palestine, we've seen it pop up, not the last couple of weeks per se, but we've seen it pop up this year for Western Reserve, especially when they played Lowville. Even though they won that game, they give up a couple of huge chunk passes for touchdowns. So that which secondary is going to be able to not give up those big momentum plays? Because momentum plays get magnified playoff time. Momentum all gets magnified in playoff time. So every energy that you get from a big play in the regular season, it's like times 10 when you get in the playoffs, because there's just a little bit more on the line. There's a little bit more emotion. So when you get those big chunk plays, it just carries a little bit more weight. So what secondary is going to be able to avoid giving up those big chunk momentum type plays to the other team?
I agree with you. And we're going to talk about being magnified in the playoffs when we talk about Lisbon. Can you give us the Lisbon matchup, please, Mr. Hartwig?
Yes, we'll go into Division 7, and Lisbon is going to be on the road at East Canton, taking on the Hornets.
Yeah, and you
it's
see
10
this
versus 7.
You see this, and not exactly probably the video that Lisbon wants to show, but I wanted to show this particular game for one reason. A guy that we've been talking about all year, a guy that everybody circles on the opposing sideline, and it's Ashton Hinchcliffe, right? I mean, the kid is an absolute dog. East Palestine shut down the run in this particular game against Ashton Hinchcliffe, but then he just goes on to break the all-time leading receiving record in a single game. I should say all-time, a single game receiving record for the Lisbon Blue Devils as a running back. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Ashton Hinchcliffe is a guy that comes from a small school. He is an absolute dog. He's a workhorse. He's a guy that every coach wants to have on their team because Ashton Hinchcliffe wants the football. And everybody that watches this young man play is always singing the same tune. It's, man, we wish we had him. And East Canton, congratulations on an incredible season. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are saying it's not over yet, and they think they're going to get by Lisbon with no problem, no questions asked. And I'm here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. And no disrespect to East Canton, because we love them. In fact, we want them. We want East Canton on this network. But I will tell you this, nobody right now, because as the weather gets a little bit chillier, it gets those leaves start coming down from the trees with a little bit more frequency. I can promise you this, that nobody is going to attack you with the violence more than Ashton Hinchcliffe, because that's a two-way starter, baby. And that kid loves contact, lives for it. Couldn't like if you've ever seen him play basketball. No disrespect here, Ash. No disrespect. He is a football player playing basketball.
That's the truth.
Fouls plenty. Like I don't know that there's a game that he didn't foul out of. But when you put a bull in a china shop, this is what you expect. So when you're talking about Ashton Hinchcliffe, when it's going to be 40 degrees tomorrow night or below, boy, let me tell you something. This is Ashton Hinchcliffe football. This is it. He couldn't have ordered it up if it was a Chick-fil-A any more than what he's got coming tomorrow night. High winds, so the ball is going to be on the ground a lot, and from a standpoint of running the pigskin as opposed to putting it in the air and putting your hopes and dreams into the arms of a quarterback, into Mother Nature. I don't think so. This is when you get a running back like Ashton Hinchcliffe and you go to work. And I think that's exactly what Coach Meek is going to do tomorrow night. I'm excited for this game, excited for this team, because I think Lisbon's a team that a whole lot of teams said, I don't think we want to play them. This isn't a good matchup for us. Maybe it's a good matchup in week 1, week 2, when the sun's still up at 9:00. Guess what? I woke up this morning. I took my son to school. That sun wasn't up. It wasn't about to come up. And guess what? She's setting already, pretty much. She's setting already. So he is the Batman, Ashton Hinchcliffe. When the darkness falls, he steps up and he is justice.
Justice for Gotham. One of the things that makes him so dangerous, though, is Coach Meek and the staff find ways to get him the ball. If you stop the traditional run game, they'll find ways to get him the ball in open space in other ways. They can use him on the screen game. They can put him out at receiver and kind of have him run these kind of bubble screens as well. They're going to find ways to get their playmaker the ball. If you stop the run up the middle, which is hard enough, but if you find a way to stop it, this Lisbon staff is really good at making sure he gets his touches in other ways and make sure that he gets the ball in open field so he can make those moves, make people miss, and then run for a touchdown. So this Lisbon team's hard to defend because they find creative ways to get their playmakers the ball. They're not just a traditional lineup. Here you go, and if you stop it, we're going to be looking at each other like, what do we do now? They're not that team. So they're really good at finding ways to get him the ball.
I love this game. I love all these games, especially these small town games, for the very same reason. This is what they live for. I mean, playoffs in small towns all over the area is incredible. What else we have in D7?
So the home game we have, the other home game, Warren JFK playing host to Norwalk St. Paul. That'll be in Girard. And then Ashtabula St. John, the 12 seed, goes to 5 seed Malvern. And then Lisbon and Western Reserve. So we have 4 Division 7 games on the slate this week in the YSN family. We'll
talk about JFK because I know Sam already talked about Ashtabula St. John at length. So, and he's more familiar than we are, but we can say this. Hey, go Heralds.
Go Heralds. Let's go.
Go Heralds. I will tell you this. There's some guy, not to pat myself on the back, some dude who, when JFK was 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, somebody was sitting here listening to all these talking heads, not that we're not one of those, but was saying, don't count out JFK. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't count out JFK. And he's in it. What a homer. What a homer. Oh, he loves JFK. He would never listen.
Which is a little bit true, but it came where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. It's like, yeah, we're saying it, but we've kind of seen JFK do this before.
I'll say this, Ant, and I've been saying, I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot, but hey, everybody, show me where I lied. Show me where I lied, because guess what? Guess who nobody wants to play right now? Nobody wants to.
Division 7 was just hoping and praying that JFK missed the playoffs, because they know what schedule they play, and they know once JFK gets in D7. They're licking their chops because they're like, oh, these teams are our size now. Okay, we can. This is right where we want them. So,
dude, you're playing Canton Central Catholic, Cleveland Central Catholic. They've got 50 kids on their sidelines and 11 kids on the field, and now you're going to go and play. Oh, they've got 20 kids on their sideline. So do we. This is neat. This is cool. This is like playing in the major leagues and then being sent down to single A. This is right. This is a situation where JFK is like, oh, we just had one hell of a stint You know, and oh, okay. So now we get a rehab assignment. So we get to look good. We get to pump up those numbers a little.
Mhm.
Listen, I'm telling you, Stephen Thomas is a dog. We talked about Ashton. I don't know. Like, if there's a draft right now and we're picking teams, I don't know where I start with those two.
It's funny that this is the matchup too, because I believe my memory is, I believe Norwalk St. Paul is a team that they met a lot later in the playoffs. You know, a few years
100%.
ago. In a
100%.
big game.
I remember.
So the fact that this is happening in round one is kind of one of those ironic things that, you know, this has been kind of a playoff bugaboo for Warren JFK in the past.
I remember calling a Norwalk St. Paul game. And what are they? The Pilots or something? What's their?
Oof. Journalism. I'll have to do some because I don't know enough.
That's all right. It does. Hey,
but
listen, not
it was in the snow. It was a snow game.
Was it?
Right? Because I remember the pictures of like the snow falling on the helmets.
I don't know if that was
St. Paul green and yellow.
I thought St. Paul was orange, but
okay.
I could be off. There, that green and yellow game, I remember that distinctly. That was at Marlington. Boy, ice. I mean, the field was turf and it was like ice. I don't think we're in for that one, and certainly don't think it's going to be that particular flurry count at Girard at Arrowhead Stadium. So, I listen. I'm telling you, St. Paul is they're no slouch.
You were close. They're the Flyers.
Flyers. Pilots, Flyers.
And they are orange and black. So whatever team I'm thinking of was not Norwalk St. Paul. But they are orange and black, and they are the Flyers.
Man, I don't like the Flyers, and I'm talking about the Philadelphia variety. So St. Paul, good luck. I like JFK a lot. I think they've got so many weapons, and Damon Bente is, dude, what a coach. Because listen, there's coaches out there that they go 0-5. They're like, all right, what do we got coming in next year? Let's start working. Let's start. No, not a JFK, because I'm guaranteeing they've got people in that not just community, in that school that are like, hey, coach, keep it up, hang in there, because guess what? Dark is coming.
All it took is one result to kind of go their way, and it felt like this team kind of understood it really quick that the process was working. Sometimes you just get that one result go your way, and it avalanches. And I felt like once they had that first win of the season, they took a little bit of a deep sigh of relief, and the weight was lifted off their shoulders. And then you start seeing them play a lot looser, and just kind of letting their athleticism speak for itself. I feel like when you're 0-3, you start to play tight. And I think those two losses after that were a little bit of tightness from JFK, because we're trying so hard not to make mistakes and make this losing streak keep going. So once they got that first win of the season, it felt like they kind of took that breath and got a little bit more back to JFK football.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is for a 14 through 17/18-year-old to sit there and get beat for 5 weeks after everything. This isn't football from 30, 40 years ago. They're just not showing up at practice for an hour and a half, going home. Like it's they eat, sleep, breathe, and poop it. I mean, this is it. Like, this is what they do, and it's a job. It is a job for these athletes nowadays. It's what we cannot stress enough is why we're talking about 7-year-olds playing football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever. It's why we're talking, because guess what? You're establishing things a little bit earlier, because everything's a peg lower now from a standpoint of when to get started, and the expectations get 2 pegs higher of what you have to do by the time you get to varsity athletics. You look at what football is nowadays. I can't go back 20, 30, 40 years and sit there and say, hey, there's kids running for 300 yards, 300-yard games. It didn't happen. And we can sit there and act old all we want and say, well, the good old days, we only had 4 teams in the playoffs. Yeah, but football wasn't that great. I don't care how you remember it. These kids, this particular generation of athletes would kick everybody's ass across the board. They would kick their parents' ass if they were 17, 18 years old. This is how it goes, because those parents have expectations and their kids surpass those expectations because those parents were varsity athletes and know how much went into it. And now it's, okay, those coaches who are varsity athletes know what it takes to be. And everybody can win a state championship seemingly every year, right? There's people that get tattoos of it because they think it's going to last for 4 years. God bless that. But anyway, let's go to D6 and let's talk about some of the D6. And who do we have lined up for tomorrow night? Division 6 here for YSN.
By the way, quick reminder, the one bye in D7 is McDonald. They are the 1 seed, so they await the winner of that 5 versus 12 St. John game in D7. So they're the one YSN team with a bye. In D6, we have Springfield going on the road at Wycliffe. That's 9 versus 8. Middle Ridge will go on the road at Garaway, 10 versus 7. And then Columbiana goes on the road at Dalton. That is 11 versus 6.
All right, let's start with Springfield. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell people that are buying the Power Pass tomorrow is if you're just watching Springfield, if you're just tuning in for Springfield, you don't have to buy the Power Pass. How many people are going to sit there and tell you openly, hey, we don't want your money. We don't want your money. Now, if you're looking for other games, yes, you're going to want to buy the Power Pass. We will have this game available to us. Now, let me set the stage and give you exactly what happened, and we are so excited because, listen, if we didn't have to charge, we wouldn't. It's just simple economics. Is $250 a game is a lot of money when we're doing 14, 15, 16 games a week. Right. We got 12 next week guaranteed. That's just home games alone. Right. So how it happens at, man, I sound like I was from Cleveland right there. How it happens at or with Springfield's game against Wycliffe, right? Yes. Is we asked, as we always do, Chris Sigler as a saint, asking those, the administrators and the site directors, hey, we are with Springfield. We are their go-to for media. We would love to have a spot in the booth. We already have an arrangement with the OHSAA, yada, yada, yada. Sends it to them. They send it back and they go, listen, we would love to have you. We don't have much in the way of space. And then the brainiac Chris Sigler his mind starts working. And we go, listen, it doesn't cost us anything because it's them doing it. Right. What if we just pick up their broadcast and we share it and promote it? And the answer to us is always, well, yes. Like, we want to be friendly to student-run organizations and, fellow schools. And like, we're not the bear that everybody thinks we are. We want to be able to share and play nice in the sandbox. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be based off a YouTube page. Now, people are saying, how the hell do I find this game on YouTube? We got you. After today's show, I'm reaching out to Sean Guerrero, who has been so helpful in helping us get connected. We're going to give the link to Sean. He's going to put it out to the community of Springfield. We are going to have it on the Springfield page. Embedded on our player is going to be that game. And you can also view it on YouTube if you prefer. So I'm giving up views. I'm giving up all that stuff, giving up money. Go watch that game if you want to. We're going to have it on our player as well. So you'll be able to, do the power play, power pass thing and run it down. Mm-hmm. But if that's the only game you're looking for, you can watch it for free, is what we're trying to get to. So thank you to the Wycliffe folks for being so generous and understanding and wanting this game to be seen. And, we save them space so it's not absolutely cramped. And I will say this, disclaimer, this is not a YSN broadcast, so I have zero control over what is said and done. So we're rolling the dice here.
Keep the emails to yourself.
Don't be part of the mailbag Monday talking about Springfield and Wycliffe.
Those announcers are sent over. Well, of course they are. They're Wycliffe students.
I got nothing for you. I don't. And the only reason, the only caveat and why I bring this up is because we've done this before. And I mean, our president wants to test out the nuclear weapons. I know where those nukes are going. I know they're going right to my inbox, and you guys stink. You're the worst. Where do you find these people? Listen, relax, chill out. And if you still want more football, certainly, then you can buy the $9.99 pass. Hey, $9.99. If they're charging you $60, you press the wrong button somewhere. Yep.
If they're
Not
asking you
us.
for a subscription, wrong button.
We do not ask you to subscribe yet. Yet. Don't do it. No subscriptions yet. On to the actual game.
Yeah,
Is
Springfield at Wycliffe. Gonna be obviously a good 1-9 versus 8.
is there anybody that wants to look at Springfield? I mean, Sam still has, I believe, PTSD from Springfield. Like, part of me still thinks Sam Torres believes Bo Brungard plays at Springfield.
He just put on that number 8 jersey and he's posing as Braden Baird.
Braden Baird,
Same initials. Same initials.
Double B's a dog. Double B. It's always, hey, if you live in Springfield right now and you're thinking about having children and your last name is a B or starts with a B, name them something with a B and they're going to be the quarterback of the future for the Tigers. Goodness gracious. In all seriousness, I think that when you look at Springfield, I don't think you can ever count them out. I mean, look what they did to McDonald. They've had a couple touchdowns called back in that game.
Yep.
They were almost the 1 in 9-1 to beat McDonald, who obviously finished 10-0 on the year. But I think I don't think Springfield is a team that anybody's circling and saying, yeah, we want to sign, kind of like they do in basketball. Like, yeah, we want to be in that bracket. I bet you if they did the same thing for football, nobody's sitting there saying, yeah, give me the Tigers. Not happening.
No.
So I think, not that Wycliffe is one that's just a pushover, but you look at what Springfield has done, boy.
At the end of the day, they're the higher seed. They're hosting for a reason, so they're obviously going to be a challenge. But we played Braden Baird's interview yesterday on the show, and he's talking about how they call themselves the Avengers, and he's Thor. And I was like, okay.
Because he's got a hammer.
He's got a hammer. And, man, God of Thunder's coming for you, Wycliffe. And I don't think you want what comes after the thunder, because it's all lightning, baby.
What Avenger would you be?
What Avenger would I be? Huh.
You strike me as like the wizard dude.
Doctor Strange.
Well, you are strange, so that's perfect.
I say realm a lot, so it would make sense.
You and Ty talking about realms.
He could be my Wong, Wong. The guy, his Doctor Strange.
That's not the guy's name, is it?
Yeah, Wong. You're invited to the wedding, right? Is that how it goes? I think it's Wong. I just, the only way I remembered it is that line that Stark has in Endgame when he in Infinity War when he's like, Wong, you're invited to my wedding, because he saves him from that big giant alien monster thing.
I think it's inevitable. I'm Tony Stark. Like I have to.
I thought you were Thanos, man.
I was Thanos for a while when I was the bad
breaking
guy.
People, the hardest decisions require the strongest wills.
I am Iron Man.
Bam.
Oh, that was a good one. Did you hear that snap? That was
You
good.
got it, man. You might have taken out some people with that.
I need to check on loved ones right now. Don't forget. Don't forget, I'm one snap away. All right, second game. Who do we got?
So then the last game, the second game, I should say, Mineral Ridge going to Garraway, 10 versus 7.
Guess what?
We got some video for this one, I think.
There we go.
Tape.
Roll tape. Yeah, and probably not exactly the tape you want us to roll if you're Coach Hake or the Mineral Ridge Rams. But why I picked this game for a couple of reasons. The Rams had the Blue Devils on the ropes, and Andy will talk about that a lot and hear about why these teams are so, intergalactic clashes every single year. Doesn't matter what the records are. They don't like one another. Ridge comes out on the short end of the stick, but what I will tell you is seemingly every time Ridge, and I didn't do any studying, so I could be wrong on this, every time Ridge lost a game, they came back and won the next one. I don't think that they lost 2 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and you look at this game, the first play that happened in this highlight was a kind of a gimme touchdown. The Mineral Ridge defense, a blown coverage, a wide open, pass to the boundary for a touchdown. You take that play away, and this is a 14-14 game. So I think Mineral Ridge is watching this tape going, we just one little mistake, and against a good team like McDonald, that one mistake is all you really need for them to take advantage of. But if you take that gimme touchdown away, it's tied up at 14, and Mineral Ridge is sitting there like, we have a chance to win this game. So I think they're watching this tape, and although they might not like the result, I think they like actually what this tape says about them and their chances in the playoffs. Because McDonald is a 1 seed in Division 7. They are a very good football team. They're comparable to a lot of teams in D6 too. So I think Middle Ridge is watching this tape going, guys, we were one mistake on defense away from really giving McDonald a sweat down the fourth quarter. So let's just let's watch this tape, and I'm sure Hake and the team has broken down this film at nausea this week. And, I mean, look at the things they're doing right. I mean, this run is ridiculous. What they're able to do at the point of attack in their run game, they push people around. I mean, look at this formation. Look how much push they just got on that offensive goal line play. If you let Middle Ridge inside the 5, it's game over. They just have such big bodies that know how to push you around. So as long as they don't give up those gimme plays and those lapses of focus on defense, they're going to be okay.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to, and you're going to hear this through the whatever's left of the show is running the football travels very well. It travels very well, and especially it goes well when you've got a run-first offense. Even if it's balanced, if you're run-first to set up the pass, it's going to go very well for you. McDonald, they're set, right? Because Kyle Puckett can sling it all around the yard, but when it comes down to it, Dan Williams is we are going to maul your face off up front, and then our backs are going to come in, and whatever's left of it, they're going to snarl at as well. Ridge is the exact same way. The exact same way. These two teams are built the exact same way. Run the damn ball, as Andy Hake says, right? So when you look at this team, dude, if you're sitting there in your Sugar Creek Getaway, which we know very well because they've played a lot of our teams over the years, boy, oh boy, like Andy Hake is not going to back down. He is instrumental and the motivator, the general of motivators is Andy Hake. Excuse me. It's one of those things where sometimes the difference in these first couple rounds, especially now that there's 12 or 16 when it was, is who's going to have their team ready to run through that brick wall. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes that's all it takes. And it's going to be a situation, I think, that can Andy get his team in a scenario where they run the ball or they drip that clock dry enough to where you're beating these guys down with all the, to use a boxing term, gut punches, right? To all the working the body a little bit until they're finally so fed up and their kidneys and liver hurt so bad that they hold them, and all of a sudden here comes the haymaker. Here comes Landon Bingham, letting one loose for 80 yards down the sideline, connecting with his receivers who are incredibly underrated. Dude, I can't see a world where Garraway is going to want to deal with what Andy and the Ram Jam has coming their way on Friday night, because this is a pissed off bunch. I mean, this is a really agitated bunch of high school football players that did not like losing to their rival. They had a bonfire, and they had a bonfire burning a Blue Devil, as did McDonald burning a Ram. But it's one of those things like they got second life here. This is their second opportunity. Everybody's 0-0 in the playoffs. And I know it's coach speak. I know it's, a situation where, okay, 0-0, but no, 0-0. We've seen a 16 beat a 1. We didn't think that would ever happen. And when it did, we didn't think it would ever go away. I'm telling you that this situation is not one that Andy Hake is taking lightly, and it's his community. He's going to have to hear it for the next 12 months if they go out one and done. And he will train, and he will let them remember it was one and done. This is a different team. This is a different style. This is a different Ridge. And this is a Ridge that has a big old chip on their shoulder, and I'm really excited to see how things go whenever you hit that reset button here in Week 11.
Yeah, and the play we just saw is one of 2 interceptions they forced for this. We're going to see the second one right here. And they're both because Middle Ridge, we talk about their front line on the offense so much, their defensive line is really good at getting in the backfield as well, causing problems. That one, they got in the face of the McDonald quarterback, threw a pick because he couldn't see where he was throwing. He kind of threw it up in desperation, and Middle Ridge gets the ball inside the 20. So their defense is very, very good. And I don't think it's talked about enough because everyone talks about how much they dominate the line of scrimmage on the offensive side, this defensive line is a very strong bunch as well. And they're going to give Garraway a lot of problems on their offense. They're going to be penetrating the line of scrimmage and making sure that the plays are blown up before they start, getting Garraway behind the chains, making sure they're in those second and long, third and long kind of situations, because that's when defensive lines can really do a lot of work getting after the quarterback. Because when you're in pass obvious situations, 3rd and 5+, 3rd and 10+, that's when this defensive line can really say, pin their ears back, we're going to go pass rush, and we're coming after you.
You got to tackle like Chase Moore. And I'll tell you what, man, that kid is I think he's a D1 talent. I really think that, teams like Youngstown State, I'm not telling Doug Phillips what to do, but if you got a kid with the size of Chase Moore, the athletic ability, and we've seen him do crazy things on the hardwood as well. You've got that kind of athletic talent available to you. To me, that's an easy, hey, how would you like to wear a big Y on the side of your head? Or, hey, boy, I'd love to see him in a Westminster blue uniform. I will tell you that. I know people feel a certain way about D3, but we can give you a great education over there at West Mini. We can give you a great education. You're a big fella. We'll follow you. You might even start your first year because you're a mauler. You're a brawler. But I'm not trying to recruit the kid, but I'm telling you, if I was a head coach of any particular program out there in the country, give me him. I'll take that one. Please and thank you. And sign the dotted line here, son.
Yeah, you can't coach size, and he's a big guy that works hard, and he's got a lot of strength. You can coach strength. There's a lot of strength and conditioning coaches that can make him even more of a threat, but you can't coach size. You can't coach someone that is that big. So his size is,
his hands are this big. I shook his hand when I did the interview, and he's like, now listen, I might be not a huge guy, but like my hands are normal size. I have normal size human hands. He swallowed them up. He's got bear paws out there.
Yeah, and he's also, like some other guys we talked about today, he likes contact. He likes to get into that kind of violent mindset that you need for a football player. He's a dog out there. He's one of those
Clark
guys,
Kent, dude.
He doesn't have it off the field, but when it's on the field, the glasses come off and he turns into this ultimate football player that will put you on the ground if you give him the chance to.
Absolute stud. All right, who's the other game that we need to talk about here in D6?
Columbiana going on the road at Dalton. The Clippers have a road trip. Dalton is obviously a powerhouse in football. We all know that. But the Clippers are a team kind of like Western Reserve that is flying high into the playoffs right now. They found some things that work on offense. They're starting to have momentum. And teams like that are always dangerous because when you start to figure things out, that's when you can expose some people in the playoffs.
Okay, so let's talk about the situation with the Columbiana broadcast. We will not have it. We were, as I told you, same scenario. Chris Ziegler, the legend of getting stuff done, GSD, threw it out there. We were okayed by Columbiana. Dalton, they are a NFHS school. So what does that mean for our followers, our viewers? Hey, behind the curtain, here we go. NFHS, anytime NFHS or Spectrum is involved, they have the first rate, and Dalton chooses and has chosen to air it on NFHS because they have these AI cameras, to which very similar to Huddle, not as good, from my opinion. Either way, ipso facto, it's a situation where NFHS gets it. We can't have it because they don't want it going anywhere else, and they want you to pay $12 a month or something crazy like that to watch this game. Listen, hey, if you want to watch it, go get it. I would never tell you not to watch it. Support the Clippers however you can. Support these schools, these student athletes, these coaches, however you can. But we're locked out. We're locked out. But what does that mean? It means I'm going to root 10 times as damn hard for the Columbiana Clippers to beat up on Dalton because we have no idea who the Clippers are from week to week. We talked about it in week one, and we don't know what was coming. We didn't know what was returning. We didn't know what was staying. We didn't know which way was coming and going, but we believed in one guy, and that's Bob Spade. Because for 32 years or something ridiculous, he's been the guy that gets it done. It's been a feast or famine for the last couple of years. But I will tell you this, at 7-3.
They're feasting this year.
They shouldn't be. Like, your mind is absolutely blown because you're sitting there like, wait a minute. I literally said that. I saw it. I was like, are they 7-3? Are you serious? Because They're not making any noise. The
Right.
only noise we heard all year was what? When they beat East Palestine.
Yeah.
Every other week was like, oh, okay. Like, are they for real? No. They're for real. They are legit. And guess what? Go ahead and put your Skittles against them. Because at the end of the day, old Bo Spate's sitting there going, yeah, I like when people bet against us. I like when we're the underdog. Because guess what they do? They come out and romp and stomp. They clang and bang. That's what they do because he knows he's one of those old school coaches that knows this is their time of year whenever it's done in the trenches. He is a weight room first dude, old school.
Mhm.
And boy, oh boy, it could be Clipper season here tomorrow night.
And I think before this season, there were probably a lot of people that were like, okay, well, this old school mentality doesn't work anymore. He can't adjust to these players. And then this is kind of his way of proving all those people wrong. Like, hey, you think I can't make a successful program anymore? You think I can't win in this day and age of football? You're wrong. My way still works. And there are some ways of winning that still work. And if anyone's out there thinking that, hey, maybe that way doesn't work anymore. Maybe Bob Spate or those old guys out there don't have what it takes to coach in this day and age of football anymore. You don't like that 7-3 record too much. It doesn't fit your narrative.
What's the narrative that you think people are saying against Bob Spate? Because I'll give you his rebuttal. I'm paraphrasing here. Go ahead. Set it my way.
Old school doesn't work. Just like Kevin James and King of Queens.
Yeah, you did way better than me. I should have let you go with it. Well, that one. I'm gonna tell you, like, you're not lying. There is a subscription to this doesn't work anymore. Okay. Okay. Tell that to the 7 teams they absolutely muck ducked. Like, good. By the way, Red Rum can't do that. Found that out. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Facebook, surprisingly, because we weren't even on Facebook supposedly the other day when we were talking about Red Rum.
Copyright claim.
No, not copyright. We didn't copyright anything.
Oh, okay.
They sent us a thing. You cannot talk about
that.
a word. We reversed it.
They know. They knew. They're like, we're not dumb.
Oh, they're dumb. They're dumb.
We got you.
BMUD, dumb. Somebody's gonna get that. Somebody's gonna be like, "What the hell did you just spell?" Yeah, we got slapped on the wrist. Muck duck. Can't get me for that one because the R's are menacing, as Dwight Schrute said. All right, after Columbiana, who do we have?
That's it for D6. We do have, let's see, the buys in D6. One of them, Crestview and United have buys.
Crestview awaits the Mineral Ridge game, correct?
Yes, Crestview's the 2 seed, so they'll play the winner of 7-10, which is Mineral Ridge and Garaway. And then United is the swiped the wrong way. United is the 3 seed, so they await the winner of 4 seed. I'm sorry, United is the 4 seed. They await the winner of that 5 versus 12. 5 versus 12.
Hey, if I'm being greedy here, and I will be, if I see Crestview Mineral Ridge, boy, oh boy, my juices are flowing. I just want to see it. I want to see it in the worst way. I really do. You saw what Crestview did to United.
Yeah.
And you saw what United do to Mineral Ridge. We can have one of those. Well, I don't want to do that either. Zuckerberg might get me for that one too. Like, sorry.
He's Illuminati. That's it.
That's it. This is it. We can have one of those. Can I do? No, I can't even do that. Like,
you can do that. I
imagine
mean,
these two hands together, making
what happens
a
to
triangle.
What happens to fans of Jay-Z? Like, they can't do that sign anymore. Isn't Jay-Z the Delta?
You want to go down that slope right now?
Oh man! So,
yeah, segue out of that.
Division 5, Berkshire goes to South Range. That's a 9 versus 8 matchup. Obviously, you'll be there, and you've been there with the Raiders for a long time. Well, what can you say about the South Range team getting a big win to kind of get themselves into the playoffs over Hubbard? This was do or die this week for the Raiders.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about this Raider team is a lot of people counted them out week 1 against Lake. Lake's doing pretty well this year. Pretty stinking well this year. In D2, by the way, which is 3 divisions up. D2, D3, D4, D5. 4 divisions, technically. But anyway, there was a lot of people that counted out South Range when they lost to Poland. There was a lot of people that counted out South Range when they lost to Girard. And who was the other loss that they had?
Mooney.
Equally as many people counted them out when they lost to Mooney. The Raiders finished 6-4 on the year, right? Any year that the South Range Raiders, because the year that they went to the state and won, they were 16-0. There was a stretch there that it was, to this point, I think it's still single digits that they've lost. This particular group of seniors has lost in their career. I believe it's still single digits. That's freakish, right? Like to say you lost 9 or less games during a season, during your entire career, and you've played, about 70 games is absolutely ridiculous. So when you look at this Raider team, and I'm not saying this as a homer, maybe I am. You can vote at home. I don't care. I saw this team get better and more experienced. And in talking to Dave Rock this week in a show that will air tonight on YSN, you'll be able to go and watch the Coach's Corner with Dave Rock in the player profiles, and we're playing catch up still, but I digress. What I'm going to tell you is the same thing he told me is I asked him, I said, how do you kind of measure how this team got better? Because the only way to get experience is to get experience. And he said it's exactly right. Essentially, we feel like you can simulate it in practice, but you look at how young this team is, and it's not an excuse anymore because, as he said, the sophomores, the class that we always talk about, are now juniors. The juniors are now seniors. And to his point, the seniors are now 5th years, right? Essentially. Mm-hmm. And they've been playing playoff football for 3 weeks, and it hasn't gone well for them in 2 of those 3 weeks. But I will tell you this, they got better every single week. And we talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter what your record is right now. You're in the dance. All you need is a chip and a chair. And I'll be damned if that team hasn't gotten better and more experienced as this game goes on. And they just needed one win. One win to start believing that they can get it done. And boy, did they get it done in a game that they were down 3 scores in the second half.
You just saw that 24-8. Hubbard just scored that touchdown. I think you talked about people counting them out after they lost to Lake and after they lost to Poland and Girard. People were counting them out here when they were down 24-8. They said, okay, that's it. South Range out of the playoffs. We don't have to worry about them anymore. They're down 3 scores. And then they just turned out with plays like this, a perfect throw into the back end zone. They just found ways to make plays. Their defense kind of locked it down. You'll see a play later on in this highlight where their secondary, who has been a little bit of a weakness this year, makes a big play to kind of stop the game and to stop a drive for Hubbard when they were trying to go and win it. They kind of put their foot in the ground and said, you know what, let's just stop all this nonsense. Let's go to the playoffs. And that's what they did. It was really impressive to watch them kind of turn on a switch when they were down 24-8 and just refused to be knocked out of the playoffs because they knew this was win or go home. This was their playoff game. This was like round 1 of the playoffs.
And what I'm going to tell you, Ant, is a lot of people are going to be looking at number 10, right? Nicholas Eugene Toy. And he gets it done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This kid has had the most
Tebow
growth
after that jump pass. Jeez.
He has had the most growth in this entire year. And I will tell you that he had a lot of pressure on him, not only living up to the last name, living up to being a South Range quarterback and being the guy, right? Everybody wants to be the man, but nobody wants to go through what the man has to go through. And this young man went through it. He went through it, and he has been chewed up and spit out. And he has been all the better for it because we've seen him progress. We've seen some absolute dimes that he's put on. But what I'm going to tell you is there's other guys on this team that have done it under the radar, namely one Thomas Tiberius Titus, who has 10 catches in this particular contest that we're watching on the screen right now, and they couldn't cover him. He is the guy that we're going to take away 11. Every coach, we're going to take away 11. They're going to have somebody else beat us. We don't care if it's 44 or 15 or 18 or whoever it is. We're going to make them beat us. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Somebody really upset TT. And Tommy Titus went off. It was the most emotional I've ever seen him. It was the most just physically demanding I've ever seen him. And a kid that doesn't say much, but has all that talent. He is on both sides of the football. In fact, he's in three-way of the football. He's on offense, defense, and special teams. He's returning. I mean, he's an absolute freak. But what I'm going to tell you is the same thing that happened against that Poland game last year. Tommy Titus. He was just kind of all by his lonesome. That's where he made his name. You're going to hear Tommy Titus tomorrow night. You're going to hear it because guess what? You're playing with a different kid now. You're playing with a guy who literally, I'm going to tell you just from talking to him, I went up to him after the game. I said, I've never seen you play that emotionally charged. And you know what he said? In typical Tommy Titus fashion, I had to. Boy, I think he found another gear, Ant. And that is a scary thing for a team coming in Berkshire because if you got 11 out there that is feeling awful confident and has got that chip on his shoulder, and now he's a leader and he expects that out of himself, the same thing that everybody, good luck. But hey, by the way, try stop 44.
Yeah,
that's a Valentine out there.
The coaching staff and the community is just saying, hey, let's not wait till 24-8 to find it. Like, let's not put our hearts on the line in that kind of way. Like, let's start a game the way we finished this Hubbard game. Let's carry this momentum and not have to dig ourselves out of another hole. Because if we find yourselves, once again, everything's magnified in the playoffs, and that is including anxiety when you're down. So if you find yourselves in a hole in the playoffs, it's a little bit harder to climb out of it. So I think the coaching staff probably you talked to them during the week, probably one of their main focuses is let's start the game like we finished the Hubbard game. Let's carry that momentum, make sure we start fast. That way we don't have to put ourselves in this big hole and find a way out of it.
I will say this, the biggest danger at South Range right now is the fact that they figured it out. They figured out that they're South Range. It was the biggest fear that everybody had going into it. And I think that teams that are sitting there waiting, again, like, excellent, waiting, like Mr. Burns, waiting for South Range, might want to reconsider and get ready, because I know everybody is sitting there going, oh, we're getting this isn't that same South Range team. I mean, you look at the top three, and then you've got Garfield at number 4. You've got Mooney that's waiting on South Range. You got Poland and Gerard waiting on South Range. And you got Garfield. I think they want South Range, but they're like, you know what? If we get somebody else, we're good. We're all right. Like, we're just going to mind our business. We're not going to be the ones that blow the trumpet on South Range because I'm telling you, there's a Burgundy storm coming. I really do believe that. I do not want to discount Berkshire at all. I don't want to give them any poster board material or bulletin board material, but what I'm going to tell you is you don't want to wake up a sleeping giant, and that's exactly what has happened in South Range. If they indeed, as I think they have, figured it out, and these guys have kind of the light bulbs gone off, boy, I'll tell you what, could be in for a nice little run, could be in for an interesting postseason as we go and get to wear those burgundies for one more time, and then you switch over to the white unis that ultimately you were hoisting a state championship with. Not that I'm saying they're going to be state champion this year, but I don't think you want to poke the bear, but hey, what do I know? Let's get to one more game before we got to go because we're 14 minutes now overtime. And talk to me about what Liberty has on their plate right now.
Liberty is hosting Claymont, the Stallions. Well, I think it's Mustangs for Liberty. But yeah, I mean, Mustangs for Claymont. But Liberty is just a team that we've talked about a lot on the show with Overreaction Mondays with Greg, and we've talked about a lot on the Scoreboard show. These two are just once in a generation type two-headed monster that you just don't see every day. And Dewan Moody and Dion Tutwiler, just ridiculous. I had a chance to interview Dewan Moody earlier this year, and he's a family legacy, right? Like his brother Dwayne did a lot of things for Liberty as well in his tenure. So he knows what it takes, and Tutwiler's back there playing quarterback. They're both so electric, and I like this graphic because they're kind of they're the dragons, right? They're the spooky monster that kind of lives in mythological dreams that you don't want to face, and no one wants to face a dragon, especially if it's got two heads pointing at you. No one wants to face a leopard either. This Liberty team is very dangerous. They were one play away from beating Crestview, one play away from beating Garfield, and those are two teams that have buys this week. So if you think that Liberty, but they didn't win a big game, but they were right there, like right there. They weren't blown out by the big teams in their schedule. They were one play away from beating both of them. So they're a very dangerous 6 seed. I would not want to be the team waiting in the wings for Liberty, which would be Poland right now, if Liberty won this game.
Nor would I. And I think that's the dangerous thing. I would love to see a Liberty Poland matchup. I think that place would be absolutely jam-packed from pillar to post. But listen, the one thing that I think has given all teams, and you pointed it out, that have played Liberty this season is the athleticism of this team. And I don't know that you can stop it. To borrow a phrase from Sports Center, you can only hope to contain it. And I think when you're talking about two guys that can do it, you can point to one or you can point to the other. I don't know that you can stop both. And that is something that every team that has played Liberty has failed. Coach Prologo understands it, and he goes, we are going to weaponize this, and we are going to use this to our advantage, and we're going to do it better than anybody else, and they have. I don't know that there's any other team that has the amount of talent and athleticism to the point of Liberty. And I mean that with all sincerity. I think we got some dogs. I think we got some one-offs. But I don't know that you've got two guys in the backfield that are equally as talented as one another the way these two are. And picking your poison sometimes, you end up like, it was at Snow White that bites the apple. Like, Good night.
Good night. And spoiler alert, Prince ain't coming this time around. There's no waking up
sweet
from
Prince.
that.
Good night, sweet Prince.
But what I love, I think Liberty loves graphics like that. And they love talk like this because it makes you almost forget about their defense. Their defense spent the first 3 weeks unscored upon. 3 weeks of football in this team was not scored upon until week 4, and it was just 7 points for JFK. They're a very good Don Prologo's typical style defense. They held Crestview to 21, and for 3 quarters they held Garfield to I think 15 or 14. So they're a defense that you really don't want to mess with. They're very good. They're very disciplined. They don't give up those big chunk plays like we've been talking about some other teams that have to shore up going into the playoffs. They're a team that if you're going to score, you have to kind of navigate the field and go on those 10-play drives, get down there and score, because they're not going to give up those big chunk plays to give you easy touchdowns or easy, scoring positions in the red zone. This defense is, in my opinion, the big headline of this team, because those two guys and the offensive firepower has been there. Even before Dwan Mooney, there was Dwayne Mooney. They could score at will in years before, but they always ended up like 5-5 in that 6-4 record because their defense wasn't up to the offense's level. Now Don Prologo came in. He made this just absolute monster of a defense, and they're holding teams to 21 points. If you can't score 20 on Liberty, you're not going to win probably.
What does offense do? Offense
sells tickets.
Defense
wins championships, baby.
Mr. Prologo has one of them. I think he's got a few of them. So I think he understands the ancient proverb of defense wins championships. And keep looking over here. The Magic Man. Keep looking over here because look what I'm doing. All right, it is time to wrap this show up. We apologize for the overtime. I got Greg McAfee out here somewhere, which I sincerely apologize that we set up a scheduled meeting for 1 o'clock. So I'm going to – my bad, G. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark presented by Joe Dickey Electric. And just like YSN, they are available to you 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. Ronnie.
My spark today goes out to one more time for the All-Star game on Sunday. I was going over the numbers from last year. We have improved by 12 players and 12 teams from last year's volleyball All-Star game. So we have 12 more players than we did last year. We also have 12 more schools represented than we did last year. I want to give a big round of applause on Sunday. We added Mohawk because they got eliminated from the Pennsylvania playoffs, so they are in, and Lakeside is in as well. So we have 2 more teams than we did the last time we updated you. We are at a total of 56 schools represented, 66 players going to be there on Sunday at the Cab. Come on down. It's going to be a real fun time.
We will see you on Sunday at the Cab. All ticket sales benefit our friends at the Rich Center for Autism. So come on out, support a good cause, watch some great volleyball in some of the areas best. And I'm going to not go on a tangent. It's going to be short, sweet, to the point. I will tell you this. There's a lot of people that have messaged us, reached out because they are number one heated at us. Your coaches didn't pick the All-Stars selections for our game. We did. And I'll lay on that sword. I did. It's one of those situations where at the end of the day, we can't pick everybody. It doesn't mean that your daughter, your son is not an all-star. It doesn't mean that they're not even good. They could be great, but it could be a situation where we're trying to give an opportunity or another player has declined that opportunity before the player that we've chosen, so that we're ruling out for maybe an opportunity that it was this and we decided to go a certain way. That's on me. I will take 100% heat for that. It is my company. It is one of those things where, hey, if you're going to yell at me or you're going to yell at somebody, come to me. Well, don't yell at the coach. Don't yell at your administrator. Don't say that life's not fair. If you want to come at YSN, just make sure, and this isn't a threat, if you're coming for the king, you best not miss in that scenario. Make sure you have your facts straight. Make sure you have everything's buttoned up, because if you're going to come at me and accuse and do things, let's just make sure we're on the same page, because I will be happy to correct that situation. I will be happy to correct the reasons of why we chose something or chose somebody. And it just might be happenstance in that particular case. So do not go and point fingers about what he said or she said. Come straight to the source and let us kind of have a conversation, which we can't really have necessarily. It's always someone's right, someone's wrong. Sometimes it can be we're both coming from good places. And on this particular platform, this particular program, I will tell you 100% certainty, our goal is always, and I mean always, to make sure that these student athletes, coaches, and communities provide a heroic sense of belonging for and within their communities. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do it better than anybody. We don't trash talk all the time. We don't trash talk kids. We don't trash talk student athletes. We don't do it to coaches. We don't do it to communities, because we appreciate the opportunity that we're being given. But what I can tell you is, boy, we don't have to do it. we don't. And, sometimes when you poke a little bit too much, and if it gets to be that much of a burden, we just won't do it anymore. This is something that we actually lose money on. We lose money on these all-star games. We're doing it for the greater good. We're doing it to showcase. And guess what? Sometimes if you take something for granted, it just goes away. Not saying that we're pulling it, but I'm saying that we're getting to dangerous heights of, okay, maybe this is enough. Maybe this. And guess what? That's the same thing that happened everywhere else. You want to know why you can't have nice things? Is because you treat people in a certain direction, in a certain way. So there you have it. Dice that up, slice that up, clip it, send it to your friends, because you do already. Go ahead and do that. And just anytime you want to have a conversation, just remember, I'm not hard to find. And also remember, we'll be better tomorrow. For Anthony Ronald Hartwig, my name is DJ Yoakley. This has been YSN Live. We will see you hopefully Sunday at John A. Cabas Gymnasium. But if not, we'll see you Monday for Overreaction Monday. Remember, Power Play, Power Pass, YSN, $9.99, all the games. And in Springfield, you get it free. So enjoy. Anthony, may sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.